In this video, what we're going to be covering are half-kneel hip cars, and we're going to perform a wall-facing version in order to constrain the movement a little bit. So what Nick's done here is set up in a half-kneeling position. His left leg is going to be the leg doing the hip car, and his right hip is going to be the one that he stays stable on. What we're here at the wall for is, as Nick extends his arms out fully, what it's going to help Nick do is maintain a stack between his head, rib cage, pelvis, and his bottom knee. At that point, what our goal is with a hip car is to take that hip on the left side through full range of motion, as much as that ball and socket can achieve, without pain or without compensation. So the one compensation that's usually very common for people is their lower back taking over when they're trying to move their hip. So by Nick keeping his hands against the wall and his elbows straight, maintaining thus this stack, we're going to more isolate that motion through the ball and socket motion of Nick's hip and do a better job actually training our hip musculature. So how a hip car is going to start is you're going to press into the wall with a little bit of tension. You're going to feel your abs and your opposite side glute, and then you're going to lift the knee up towards the ceiling. You're then going to imagine that whole leg opening up like a book as we push it out to the side, and Nick's going to show us a swivel back here into internal rotation. Your knee will drop farther towards the ground, but you're trying to maintain it as high as you can as that heel swivels backwards. Nick's then rewinding back through that motion, back through external rotation on the way from the back to the front. So as Nick does one more rep for us, we're going to see that Nick swivels into that internal rotation where the heel leads the way first. And as Nick's knees come together, then he's going to push back in the same direction. This is now external rotation where the knee is leading the way towards the ceiling. And that's where that foot's coming back around and landing right at the front. Things to be aware of: if your arms are getting shorter throughout it, it's probably because your back or your trunk lean is compensating, so try and get those arms long again. If you feel like you're struggling to feel your glute muscle, or if you're simply looking for a bit more challenge, what Nick will show us here is that we've got a 5-pound weight. If you're somebody just looking to help your glute fire, you can use an unweighted ball or an unweighted rolled up towel. If you're somebody looking to challenge this movement in essentially our phase 2 program, that's where I would encourage using a 5-pound weight or a ball that's got roughly between 3 to 6 pounds. So as Nick goes through one more rep for us, what we'll see is that this is going to help Nick isolate out those hip muscles even a bit more, and we're still applying that same basic principle of progressive overload like we would to any strength motion. Why we really want these hip cars going in terms of the local musculature is because we've already trained our lateral hip muscles to get strong in terms of our single leg stance and through our side planks on the ground. We've missed out on a rotational component, so hip cars are going to help you cover that.